Hey, this is Andrew Brown, and this fall long we are going to peer two VPCs together and do some communication between them. So let's go ahead and make our way over to VPC. And what we're going to want to do is create ourselves in two new VPCs. I'm going to create one called, or we'll go over to VPC and more, and we'll say VPC A, or just A, so because it'll already have VPC in the name, and 10.0.0.16 seems fine to me. We'll have one AZ, one public subnet, and no private subnets here, no NAT gateways, and no VPC endpoint. We'll go ahead and create that one. So that will create very quickly. We're going to go over and create another VPC, and this time it's going to be B. I'm going to just change this to B12. So we have a different number here. We're going to say one availability zone, one public subnet, no private subnets, no NAT gateways, no VPC endpoints. And so now we have those there too. So we'll go ahead and view the VPC. So that's really good. The next thing I'll do is just refresh here. So we need to create a peering connection between them. We can absolutely just make it over here, but I want us to get more practice with the console. So let's go ahead and do that here. I'm going to just type in clear. As you can see, I was trying this before. We have AWS EC2 create VPC peering connection, and we'll provide the VPC ID. I'm just going to open this up in a new tab so I can see what I'm doing. And we'll make our way. I'll close it out in this tab. I don't need them both. But I will go into VPCs here, and we'll grab VPCA. And we'll go back over here, and I'll paste that in. Then we'll do a peer VPC ID. And we'll go ahead and paste that in. And we'll hit enter. And so now we've created our peering connection. If we go and refresh here, we should have a peering connection. It has yet to be accepted, so that's what we're going to need to do. We're going to need this peering connection ID in order to do so. So I've copied it. We're going to type in AWS EC2 accept VPC peering connection. I'll say VPC peering connection ID, and we'll paste that in. And we'll hit enter. Great. And we'll go ahead and do that. We'll give this a nice refresh. And now we're active, so we're good. We're going to need routes each way, so we'll have to update our route tables. I'm just going to do it, find them over here to make it a little bit easier. So for route table A, we want to route it to B, and that should be pretty straightforward. So we'll go ahead here and type in AWS EC2 create route table and paste it in. We need to provide the destination CIDR block, which is going to be the direction from the other one. So if A is 10.0.0.0, this one's going to be 12.0.0.0. So we'll go ahead and put in 12.0.0.0/16 for the entire size of the network. So basically from anywhere. And we're also going to need our VPC peering connection ID here. So we'll go ahead and copy this again, and I'm just going to paste it in below. We'll hit enter, and so that establishes it in one direction. I'm going to go ahead and put in 10.0.0.16, and then we need to replace this with the other route table. So this is the other one, and we'll paste it in. We'll hit enter. And so that has now been established. Let's go take a look at our route tables and see if they are configured correctly. We go to our routes. This one is going out to 12.16, so that is good. This one here is going out to the connection, so they are now connected. In order to do communication, we're going to need an instance in each one, and the idea is that we can attempt to connect to the other one over the network. So that's what I would like to do. So what I'm thinking here is we should launch two EC2 instances. One can have a sessions manager, and the other one we'll have to launch manually. So what I'll do here is go over to GitHub, and we'll make our way over to our AWS examples repo as we've been using this entire time. I'm hitting period to open up github.dev. I think we keep using the one in Knackle, which is a pretty good one, so we'll go ahead and grab that. Wherever that is here. Or you know what? I'm just going to make two files so that it's a bit easier for us to work with. So I'm going to go ahead here and make a new folder. We'll call this peering connection, because I'm actually going to set up two templates. This will be template A, and then we'll have template B. And we'll have these do something a little bit different. So I'll grab this from Knackle because this one is a good base one. And I'm going to paste this in here. And so A is going to be the one that we're going to utilize to log into for SSM. So for this, the SSM role is very important for us to attach. But we're not going to install anything on this one, so we'll delete this part out here. For the security group, we can just keep it open. That's totally fine. So I'm fine with that. And yeah, we don't need this because we know we're using the network interface card here. So this looks fine. I'm going to just change this over to T3 micro. And we'll go back over to here to our subnets. And this will look for subnet A. So I'm going to copy that ID here and bring it over here and paste it in. I'm going to then go over to our VPCs. A, copy it. And I'm going to go ahead and paste it in. And we'll save it there. We'll copy this. B. And here I'm not going to even have an SSM role. We don't need to SSH or get into it. But we do need it running a web server. And the idea is that we can try to hit that IP address, and if it will return that value, it'll be in good shape. We're going to just keep it open to everywhere. And so for this one, we're going to update this. And we'll go ahead and we'll paste this in. And we'll go ahead and replace this. And we'll save that. And so now we have A and B, so hopefully that is very clear. We'll go ahead and download each of those. And the idea is that they should be able to talk to each other because, you know, they should be able to. Because they're paired, right? But what we'll do is just go to our downloads directory. I know you can't see this, I'm just doing this off screen. And we'll make our way over to EC2 in a new tab. Well, I keep saying EC2, I mean CloudFormation. And so we'll have to create ourselves a stack. And before we do, I think I replaced all these. Yeah, these have all been replaced. And so we will upload stack A. EC2A. And I'm going to go back over to here, create a new stack. And I'm going to grab B. Unresolved EC2 instance profile. So this has a slight little issue here as we do not have the instance profile. So we'll go ahead and just remove that. And I'll just have to re-download that file and just delete it locally. So we'll try this again, B, and we'll go next, see EC2 B, and we'll say next, next, submit. And so those are creating. We're going to wait for those to create, and I'll be back here in just a moment, okay? Okay, so we are back. Both seem to be deployed. We'll make our way over to EC2. And the goal here is to log into one of our instances and then ping the other one and see if we can get any information about it. Now, before we actually log in the other one, it would have helped if I named these a bit differently, but I guess we'll just click here and figure out which one is which. So this one is probably not the web server. Is this one the web server? Let's find out. Not that one. It has to be this one. Oh, come on. Like, the thing is, the way we'll know is if we go down here, the network is 12, so this one has to be the web server. I'm going to open this one up again. And we'll just take that out. So yeah, that is the web server. And I'm just going to rename that so I know that web server. And in a sense, this is our jump box. Well, it's not really our jump box. I'm just going to call this, just EC2 instance, whatever. So what we'll do is go ahead and connect to this, and we'll connect with Sessions Manager. And we'll just switch it over to the proper user, sudo su-ec2 user. We'll type in clear. So the idea is that I should be able to grab this IP address. And I'm just going to do wget -o, or is it 0 -o 0? Paste. I'm thinking of curl, but if I do this, it'll actually download the page, which is not what I want. I just want to print it out. So I'm just going to go ask ChatGPT really quickly here. Using wget download and display, like wget display a remote HTML page. I don't want to download it. I want to see it right away. I imagine we could pipe it over to cat or something. Yeah. Okay. One line it with wget. Oh, wait, hold on. Keep in mind, there's the -p. No, we don't need that. Let's just try it ourselves. It didn't really tell us what I wanted, but maybe we can just pipe this to cat. No, that doesn't help. In one line, using wget, print out the contents of the website. I would have thought, yeah, I thought there was a -o command. Quiet mode, okay. So maybe it was 0 and not O, but we'll try this again. Curl definitely has that, but it does something else. We'll try, I did O there. Let's try 0. It says it's not a thing. Capital O. Missing URL. It's definitely not missing. Oh, I have to put a hyphen in between them? Is that why? There we go. And then if we put a Q on that, there we are. Okay, so we're able to access it. That doesn't mean we're peering because this is going out to the public IP address, right? So one way we can determine if this is actually working is by hitting the private IP address, because the private IP address is only available to those that are within the network. So if we go to our web server and we grab our private IP address, I wonder if we can just go ahead and hit that. And notice that it's still working. So just to prove that it really, really is working, what I want to do is go over to VPC B, and we're going to remove the route to the internet so you absolutely know that that is working. So we'll go here and update the routes and edit it. I'm going to remove that internet gateway. We'll save it. I'm going to go back over to here. And notice that it is still working. If we try the top one, notice that it does not work. So that's how we know that that connection is peered. One thing that I wasn't paying attention to was whether they were in the same availability zone or not. So if we go to our subnets, that really matters for cost, because if they're not in the same, then it's going to cost something. And I mean, for this example, I should expect you not to see really any kind of expense because we're really sending so few requests, but you know, I just want to remind people about that. And so what we can do is just give this a refresh. The problem is we used the wizard, so we didn't get to pick where it was. So this one is in SAA C03. And so they just happen to be in the same availability zone. So that means for my case, it's going to be nothing. But again, it might not do that with the wizard. It could randomly choose a different one. It's possible. One other thing that I didn't mention in the actual slides, but if you have two peered connections, and let's say that you have a web server in B, and you have a internet gateway in A, but no internet gateway in your VPC B, that web server can't get out to the internet because VPC peering is about connecting two networks together. And even if you have an internet gateway or a NAT gateway in the other one, does not mean that those resources will route out to there. So just understand that the connections are basically private between the two VPCs. So that's all I really wanted to do here. So we'll go ahead and make our way over to EC2. And I just want to terminate both of those. Once those are terminated, we'll come back here and we will then tear down the VPC. I think we could probably start doing that now a little bit because we do have to delete the VPC peering connection down here below. So we'll go ahead and we'll delete that peering connection. It says, yeah, we'll delete the routes. It doesn't matter. Okay, and we'll just wait for these instances to tear down. I'll be back in just a moment, okay? All right, so now we'll go ahead and tear down that VPC we created, or VPCs, I should say, because there's more than one. And yeah, we'll make our way over to VPC. We'll get rid of B, which is easy to do here, and we'll get rid of A. There we go. And I will see you in the next one. Ciao.